My guest today now, Mr. Hassan Manso, they still wait for January, where January will go start today. And the topic will get today now, an analysis, economic and political analysis of the current administration, the Maada Bio-led administration. We all know 2018, now in this particular current administration, take governance. So it don't pass 2 years now, and we don't get plenty issues them for talk about. So I want to welcome you again once more. I tell you, thank you plenty. I will do a little bit of a monologue first. Before my guests they can join, whilst we wait for a guest, I will do a little bit of monologue. Because what you are written at this program, now my guest in opinion. Me they ask the questions them, the guest in opinion. And the way I've done there, you want fine journalists they talk the last time. He say opinion day, fact day, truth day. So now sometimes they do the model we serve between NTSO. Somebody in your opinion, they go take and say your facts. Somebody in your fact, they go take and say not the truth. But it depends from which angle we look them from. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, whether at the chat room, whether they watch we live, and people are going for watch this program later on, na YouTube or wherever platform we go for watch this program. I want we understand and they say opinion, facts, and the truth, it can differ. It depends from which perspective you look from. So we not get anything very concrete be saying na the truth. Because what you do, if Mr. White tell me say, give me an information, then me come and relate that information into you, huh? It can be saying that the truth at all now. Because what Mr. White tell me, now I relate to now. But again, it can possible say, what Mr. White tell me not to true. But what me tell not true. So it's what Mr. White tell me not to the fact. So you see, so it depends which angle you look to. But one thing want me to try for talk to we all Sierra Leoneans them, allow they try for land, for agree, for disagree. Because you know, this now a political perspective program they do, people get different opinions, people get different way they look at things. But in order for be say on man you wait and call a fix or a wait and call. So on man a different perspective. But it depends on we as brothers and sisters and from Sierra Leone, wherever we there, let we know say, let politics not divide we. We'll get all sorts of heated arguments, but let we know say we all are one, we all are brothers and sisters and at the same country, and we all want the one thing for Salone, for that Salone will go before. So it depends how we approach on them. If we're able to debate, get to disagreements, we understand, say, okay, Mr. Y, now so him believe, me, Mr. B, now so me believe. But that doesn't mean say we're not enemies them, we all are brothers them. We just get different way of looking at things and let we move ahead, let we move forward. You know, it's very important we Sierra Leoneans because the social media don't create a platform they like today where they debate plenty to them. All man they talk plenty to them. You see, but it's very important for let we understand that one day. Why should they wait for we guests like where I say no more? Will they continue this monologue for advice we all in the chat room and everybody say, do you allow make this as a point of this a responsibility? Because social media platform, if we use them wisely, it will benefit we. Because we educate ourselves, we learn plenty things, and they will bring kind information to everybody wherever you do. So it's very important and it's good for we all. So my advice again to all is that do you allow the learn for agree for disagree peacefully. Let at the check small if me. Thank you very much. I see people in the chat room. Hello, sorry. Okay. That is so. Okay, thank you very much, Brother Manso. Did you get me live and clear?
Yes.
Hello? Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you. Let's go.
Okay, let me. Yes, again, thank you very much to all of you as them way don't patience we. Now I don't get me guess when Mr. Hassan Manso, when a political analyst, we get for January and explain to me in your own perspective, in your own opinion about the political and economic perspective of this bio-led administration. We don't do governance now. We country Sierra Leone for over 2 years now. Thank you very much, Mr. Manso. Again, I want to let you introduce yourself to the viewers. Them. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Mr. SuperMed K. My name is Hassan Manso, based here in the United Kingdom, and a Sierra Leonean, and a political activist.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Manso. It's a pleasure in having you on board here today. And like probably say to me, guess them all again when they watch this program worldwide. Mr. Hassan Manso, what he can talk as a political activist, na your own opinion. How you see things. People can differ with one another, but do you have a lot of show respect to one another? Because like way I say, we're looking for land for agree to disagree peacefully. Mr. Manso, we know say this bio-led administration, they don't need a governance now in country Sierra Leone for over 2 years now. In terms of the economy now in country, you know, so they call it bread and butter issue. How you see them from the time before they kind of governance to now? How you see they don't do in terms of the economy in the country?
Good evening, then and our viewers. And before I start, I would like to say what I'm actually going to say in this program is my opinion and it's my view. And I do not want people to bash me, but to respect and challenge me if you disagree. And I hope that we could get a successful debate and discussion as we go along. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. SuperMed. With regards to your question, based on the current economic situation in Sierra Leone, is one that is, my opinion, is diabolical. And from when this government take the reins of power, we all had during the campaign and during the electioneering period, a lot was said and a lot of criticism were made against the former government about mismanagement and how Dengo Campo can do things, more so in the provision of providing the bread and butter as then column. A lot was made about that, and all the successes the previous government was made wasn't actually appreciated to a certain degree. And now, when you talk about, say, the previous government, they're not able to do nothing to a certain extent that angry Boku. And when we see what's they go on now, it's been 2 years since this government actually came into office. We don't see any progress in terms of the economy growing beyond waiting the previous government left. Instead, we see, say, the economy just they retrogress, they go backwards, hardship, starvation, hunger, people and just they moan up and down the country. And we don't see anything from the government side of things whereby they would put out a policy prescriptions that will enable to stimulate the economy, especially things like the small and medium-sized businesses, them for empower them, make them able for grow, because those are the people that actually they're the powerhouse of any economy, the small and medium-sized businesses. When they're able to get the finances that they need, they get the stimulus, they're able to employ, and then they're able to get the sales, and then they're able to move the economy forward. But for no fault of their own, these are the people that are suffering a lot in the country right now. And because of that, I think, say, the finance minister, with everything that he said, coming to the bank governor, we're looking at the foreign exchange, from 7,500, and now we're looking about what, 10,000, just over a million.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brother Manso. I know say you're on the floor. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to zoom in because it's very important. Make viewers them go understand from which angle they come from. Because obviously the current government, they say when they come, they don't meet nothing at the kitty. But again, one zoom in for let we see, let we able give a clear picture really who side thing go wrong. Why make the country dry? Because everybody talks say the ground dry. And even we don't see the first lady, a lot of people at the East administration don't talk say yes, the ground dry because of this. They excuse the way the government they give, say because they don't meet nothing at the kitty, now it make the ground dry. How you see the excuse? You feel say they excuse them, they marinate with reality where they happen at the country, because people then go say, well, where una become the dollar be there so 7,400 euros per $1. Now the dollar it don't go over 10,000 for $1. So if una be meet something like IBD, why you know unable to maintain an IBD? It don't go up so much so now. So how you look into it? Why make you feel say the economic, the ground dry? Why make what are the key kits in the way you put a point where the government, this current government don't do when they make things the triangle?
Yeah, without diving into that too much, as a concerned Sierra Leonean, the issue where I believe this government is trying to perpetuate is somehow being disingenuous to an extent that the economy is so bad. But let's put that affair aside. Let's deal with waiting, give the government this confidence for perpetuating the inherited bad economy. For me, this is not my own view. I think the APC government did as best that they could. But one thing that the APC government did that was actually wrong in itself was that the handover note when the APC government, before they left office, when they hand over to this new administration for tell them how they manage the economy from 2000 for the 2 term of EBK. That handover note was never made public. But as far as we understand the handover note to be, the APC from 2014 up to 2017, before the Ebola outbreak and the mudslide, the Sierra Leone economy, as we believe it, was one of the fastest growing economy in the sub-region of Africa. So after the Ebola outbreak, and then we get the mudslide, and then coming to 2017, the electionary period where the economy take a turn during the Ebola crisis. Now, the APC government did left the Sierra Leone economy at 49%. And we understand, say, the previous administration did leave 500 million. But this is where the problem is, that APC wasn't smart enough. At the time when they compiled all of those evidence, it would have been nice for the outgoing administration, especially the former president, to at least should have called a press conference, an international press conference, that he could have actually used that press conference day for submit this information and put them out there to the public attention for say, this is how much, even with all the challenges that we face with the Ebola, we do our best and the mudslide, but we are able to leave this economy in a better footing with 500 million in the bank.
Okay, but thank you very much,
hold on 1 minute. Because of that failure that the former government failed to make that information accessible to the public, that was why this current administration get to capitalize to say they inherited a bad economy. And once they inherited a bad economy, they're now running with that propaganda to say APC destroyed the economy. And now for change that narrative, is becoming very, very difficult. So they're not able to develop the economy more than how they inherit in 2 years. So it's a bit far-fetched when you look at what they're doing actually. And it's wrong in the eyes of being honest.
Okay, then thank you very much, Brother Manso. And again, on that point, I think say the former bank governor, they even be accept and say yes, there was over $500 million left in the reserve. So that one was quite clearly established. I believe say most people in the yeah, because the former bank governor also said talk. Anyway, again, Brother Manso, in terms of that same economic aspect there, because what you do, we they see people that the country, up and down at the country in a salon, on Monday, they talk about the suffering because they say job they not there, price of basic commodity don't go up. So many graduates and they get job again and all these things, then plenty. Now, we don't can see the government, this current administration, the administration of the current president, retired Brigadier Maada and Julius Maada Bio, still the administration is still blame the previous administration, say plenty things don't happen, plenty things don't happen, money disappear, money not disappear. But what I want to draw your attention to now, the last Auditor General report we'll get to know, say, according to the Auditor General, Mrs. Pia say, over 140-something billion leons disappear, where they not be able to account for. What did you take for that particular saga there? Because the current administration, they say, oh, now the previous regime, then the previous regime, they say, no, not to them. Then the Auditor General began for Cambo and the media and clear the ear about that issue there. So what did you take in relation to that last Auditor General report? Because now be over another very key thing where don't happen since this administration there in governance.
I think the problem with that is we as Sierra Leonean, everything has become too politicized. And the people we be expect for give the facts, and the people who we expect for challenge the government, which is the fourth estate, the journalists. Then people that for some reason, some of them have been politicized, the civil societies, they've been politicized, and most of all, the parliament, which will be an independent executive body for all the government to account in terms of accountability, they not get any bites or they're not able for back. So we clearly see everything will happen with the Auditor General in reports that there was some mismanagement from when this government took office. But as we all know, people then are scared because of the intimidation, because of all of these heavy-handed tactics where the government they play for call the government out. So if we, the legislature, they're not able to call the government out, the journalists are not able to call the government out, what chances does the normal suffering individual as a Sierra Leonean get to call the government out? And this now the problem we country they face right now. They don't stifle freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and all of this kind of thing. And going forward in terms of when you're talking about the suffering in the country, when you look at what the government to do with the heavy-handed, I think the suffering also come about when you look at government is continuation, by the way, and a lot of the good things that the APC government did left for this incoming government, a lot of those things were cancelled. And when you cancel some of those projects when the former government left, you take away the confidence of investors wanting to come and invest into your country. And if the lack of investors, then they gain a lot of volume because the foreign exchange, the companies, the way they operate, they not get confidence, and you as a government doesn't have the capital to actually guarantee investors to say, with the guarantee on assets, them no matter what it is, any loss, we will take responsibility, combined with overzealous taxation, now the water key. When people are shipping goods in for clearing, all of these things, there's so much red tapes and so much struggle to even try to get your stuff out. All of those things, when they put them all combined together, they bring hardship and starvation and all of these things we need to talk about. So in terms of all of this kind of stuff, the government actually, I don't feel say, the due diligence way that they're supposed to do in order to try to create the ambience, we forgive and stimulate the economy and give the people confidence for say, yes, then I decide with the promise where they make for bring investors, then come, all of them things that they not materialize. So it makes you wonder exactly waiting they go on. If the government actually gets a sense of direction, even though they tell us they've got this new direction, but this new direction seems to be a misdirection in a way from a concerned Sierra Leonean point of view.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Manso. And again, to the viewers them and listeners them, would not mind for take call. If anybody gets something we want to share with we welcome. The number now +44 79513 If they call outside the United Kingdom, now +44 79513 And again, Brother Manso, that particular topic that we don't pay church is very important because we all know, say, the country will need investors. And now, like when they try to highlight the investments where we expect, say, because we know, say, the previous government, we don't sign that Mama Airport project, where according to this new administration, we share that project. Then also, so many other investment opportunities we don't talk about, we're unable to see forthright it. So how you feel, say, the shelving of that project, the casting or whatever, the issue and get the disputes between SN Mining and Shandong Steel, how they want to affect the investment climate into the country, and in terms of employment and every other things, how you see them, how they contribute for make this gun in the one exacerbate the gun in the one?
Well, it's simple. In every walks of life, when you look, there's always a reference point. And anything we do without a reference point and visibility study, you're lost. This same go with investors, and it goes right across. Even when you try to get a loan from the bank, they will do a credit reference check. So there's currently a contract that's been signed with the Chinese to build the Mamama Airport. And then you've got the Shandong Steel and all of these other international bodies that where they operate in the country. And this new government will come, instead of encourage them, have a dialogue with these people for see how they go continue for help the country with the people that are employed. We go continue for pay tax. And this company, they pay tax, continue for get foreign exchange, for aid the economy, then decided to go against them people there. Now, this is how it goes. If you an investor, I give you a case study now. Now, I can take an analogy to say, footballer, those that are playing for Chelsea or Man United or Liverpool, if you want to buy a player now Liverpool or Manso they play for Chelsea, Chelsea want to buy you, you get a reference point for phone me for say, hey, man, listen, you club want to buy me, how Chelsea they, waiting that thing where they go on at Chelsea. You understand what I mean? These are the things that we investors then they do among each other. Then they talk among each other, then get reference points. So if the news coming out of the country as an investor is not satisfactory, it not give you confidence for say, yes, this is not a stable ground are they going to, where are they able for grow my business and are able for make profit. Because mind you, anybody when an investor, the first thing with them in mind, it is about profit before anything else. So if you feel say you're not able for make profit, you not get the stability, and you not get the encouragement from the government for guarantee in investment in the country, then obviously they're not going to show up. And this is exactly what it affects this new government when they come into power, because all of these issues with the investors them within the country and the one that we want for come, they not get good news for say this government and a government where you can do business with. So basically, it's like I said, then come into power, and then what you get to say, Sierra Leone is not open for business. So if you actually demonstrating that Sierra Leone is not open for business by canceling a project in Mamama Airport, at that project gone through, imagine how many jobs that Mamama Airport would have created. Imagine how many taxes the government would have collected from the Mama Airport. Imagine how much foreign exchange the government would have got from the Mamama Airport. Imagine the development also within the axis of Mamama Airport, where the government for me succeed for make Mamama Airport another garden city, where some of the pressure where Freetown the face at currently, some of those offices, some of those businesses would have been relocated to those to the Mamama area. We go air for decongest Freetown as it is right now. But unfortunately, the government not see the sense for continue with the Mamama Airport for reason best known to them. Now we're in this diabolical mess we're in.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Manso, for another excellent point. And I want to say again, this program would allow phone-ins. You can phone in and bring out your own suggestion or opinion or whatever. The number again, if they call outside the United Kingdom, now +4479 513 77568 +4479 513 77568. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Manso. I know say the people now the government go say, well, we be fee say the Mama Airport not to be visible program, na a white elephant, beneficial to the country because we get another airport. We just need for get a better access, as they say, for building Lunge Bridge. It will give a better access to Lunge, and Boku people then go get plenty job from the Lunge Bridge, and the Lunge Bridge will bring up Boku tourism in the country, and so many other things. So how you see the argument say from the government here, sir?
I think that argument there in itself is a flawed argument from a Sierra Leonean point of view, and in terms of waiting appropriate and waiting beneficial to the country as a whole. Now we're looking at what the Mamama Airport would have cost. The Mamama Airport would have cost up to about the least, I think about $500 million, right? And then that project was shelved for reasons, like I said, best known to the government. And then now they come with a fancy project, which is a fantasy, the Lunge Bridge. That one we understood would have cost 2.1 billion. So 2.1 billion, that is for Mamama airports, right? Now, Mamama airports, you would have been able to make money for every landing plane where they come to Sierra Leone, where they bring Forex, foreign exchange, right? And all the things that are highlighted, the benefits of the Mamama airport. Now we're talking about the Lunge Bridge. Now you construct the Lunge Bridge. We all see when the government launched the Lunge Bridge project, they tell us that the Lunge Bridge could be a toll bridge. Fair enough, it's going to be a toll bridge. But how much money do you expect the government to generate on that toll bridge day for make it become viable and effective, right? They say they're going to charge each passenger just a minimum of maybe $10, yeah, for cross the bridge. So when we look at Lunge, Kafo Bulom, and all of those areas beyond Lunge, we possibly now then get for they use that bridge they apart from the diasporans and business people going to Freetown. Imagine those people are going to sell fish, then they're going to sell plazas, all of these petty traders. If you're going to be charged $10 for cross the bridge and your market's not even worth $10, it's nonsensical, absolute joke. So the idea behind the bridge, maybe if not being cost so much, ridiculously, it's a good idea still, because forget the bridge would have been a good infrastructure development for Sierra Leone. But when you combine the cost and then you combine the effectiveness of the bridge compared to the airport, is a non-starter, actually, is a non-starter. So I was quite discombobulated in a way for the government for actually eat that advice day for making them cancel the Mamama airport in favor of the Lunge Bridge. And the Lunge Bridge for me is a vanity project. As we all see from where they launch them, there's yet an investor for raising head up to say, I'm ready to take on this bridge. I go invest in this bridge. Because I mean, the cost in itself, you will not go ever able for pulling money. You're not ever able for pulling money. And that's the reality.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Manso. If you say you don't clarify that point, say as much as possible, people then will make their own opinion or get their own view about them. But again, one other topic where we don't touch but earlier on, this now about duties, them, custom duties, them. People where they import things, them, businessmen, them, where they bring them from Asia, from Europe, from wherever to Salone. Then tariffs them, because if they don't put some concession away, tariffs they don't go up. How you feel say that they affect the business climate and vis-a-vis the economy and the grand issue in the country?
It is quite simple. Like I said to you, every man where they do business, the name is business, and business goes line in line with profit. If you know they make profit, then there's no point pursuing that business venture, right? So no matter how small you are, when you do business, if you invest 5p, you won't forget at least 10p, if possible, 7p, right? So when you see the easy way to make APC was able slightly for succeed, and the sufferness wasn't that much, because then create that avenue and that situation where investors, people are coming to invest in Sierra Leone, the small and medium-sized businesses. These guys were able to be given concession. Concession means they be given this concession for clear the goods, maybe at a reduced price as to the normal price where they could have cleared the goods now what's the key. Based on that concession, these people are now able to get extra cash in their pockets for bring more, not only bring more goods in, Then they bring and come in, then they try for sell them as quick as they can. We go able for help the general populace, the citizen of Sierra Leone, because now this man don't get a concession, and they pass that little concession that when it gets to the masses, in order for make themselves go buy the goods quick, make it change, so it can overturn and go back and bring more goods in. But when they don't withdraw all of these concessions away from the people, now for clear the goods and the overzealous taxation, so you ask yourself, the question is, does it actually worth it, the hassle that I'm going through to bring goods to Sierra Leone only to profit what? Peanuts. So because of that reason, the investors then decided not to come in.
Like when you say a quick penny is better than a slow shilling. Thank you very much.
That's
and viewers
correct.
and listeners them again, I want to say when they watch then and now, me the host and presenter, Mohamed Kamara, commonly known as SuperMed, are they sitting today for the CEO and presenter of Then and Now Media Empire, Mr. Prince Emi Kroma. So this na Then and Now live, they bring come Mr. Hassan Manso, a political analyst, where they talk and they analyze the economic as well as a political perspective of the Bio-led administration till now, from the town and kind of governance to now. From them, I think so. We don't talk a little bit more about this economy issue. We'll get another last topic where I will let the board at church on as well, because we know say the government they get a tussle with SN Mining. SN Mining are the company where they mine iron ore on Lunsa. Then get a tussle about payments, no payments, about and the conditions of the contract, so on and so forth. But they say they don't go like court of arbitration. Where the court of arbitration 210 they don't rule against the government. Now it looks like say the case can go by real court. Meanwhile, people don't get job, and the small income the government they get from that, they don't stop completely in that visit in that area day. So how you see that in relation to the economy again? Because they say a little drops of water makes an ocean. All the FFTI don't come out. Nothing they come in, because we know say the government talk say even a bakery company they don't go turn salt for employing nearly 5,000 people, but yet now no we get anything about them yet. Waiting they go on, waiting they go on. So this SN Mining the issue, and all the jobs where they don't go in relation, and the government it toss where they get to them. How you see them in relation to the economy, bread and butter issue, the contract issue?
Thank you, Mr. SuperMed. And again, this the fundamental mistake where this government don't make an error. As much as it is sad to say, you do not wish bad on your own government, because we have to get it straight. If the government fail, Sierra Leone fail. So for all intents and purposes, we want to make this government succeed, because government is a continuation. But the schoolboy errors that when this government they make, now in they lead them to the failure where they happen right now. And when you look at international company in SL Mining and the way they've been treated, and it's gone as far as to the court of arbitration, and 2 decisions has been made against the government. First of all, the thing where the government will realize, and a lot of these guys now in Sierra Leone running this current government, they've been in the diaspora. For the fact that they've been in the diaspora, they should have known what is best for the people of that community there. So for the fact that this company is there, it give the country foreign exchange, and it employs so many people now that community there, that part of the country, where their livelihood, where they maintain that community there. The government's been get for see reason. Because of that in itself, the livelihood of those Sierra Leoneans working at that particular community for see reason, for make sure say they're able for aid that community, for make them survive, not for go into battle with them. Because we always see in the diaspora, when a community go bust in this country, even the London Steel and all of these things, if I can make a reference, the governments will come in and try for help that country for make them able to survive, because of the unemployment where it creates, and because of the hardship if then people and they lost their job, and all the other mitigating circumstances, we go create sufferness and hardship for the people of that area there. So the governments I not feel say the government actually they think beyond waiting at the responsibility and the duty of care. And these governments have to also understand the word government in itself, it means family, right? And the family means the house of tribes, where everybody is involved and everybody is inclusive and everybody is one. Just like the slogan, one people, one country. If there isn't a social safety net whereby when people have lost their job, some of the benefits some of us are enjoying in the diaspora in terms of social services, you not get some for offering to you people. So if these people can get a job where they maintain their livelihood, it is your responsibility as a government for make sure say you're able to sustain that job, that company there, so these people are able for keep their job and able for save the suffering, the poverty, and the hardship will make everybody the cry say the ground dry. So in some way, somehow, I think say the government get for look into this. If there's any way they can sort out a deal with SL Mining, I understand the deal that they talk about, say, then go mine for 10 years without paying a single dime of taxation to the government. But I believe, say, with good dialogue with the company, if they can sit down at a table, the dialogue with them, maybe it might not be 10 years, but it might be a give and take. Whereas these people will be employed and these people will have to pay tax, and the taxes that they're paying to government, the government will get changed to look after other businesses with regards to developing the country in the health sector and so many other areas that the government may need for look into.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Manso. And like what I said earlier on, the viewers and listeners, they want to thank you very much for one of the patients who will get some technical difficulty when we start. Me and SuperMed that is sitting today for the founder, CEO, when Mr. Prince Emil Kroma, na the then and now media empire. Brother Manso, we don't talk a lot of issues. We don't touch small, because not going to go detail, because time not going to permit we. But like what you said, we all want the government do well, because when the government do well now, we all go benefit. Salongo, all men are Salongo benefit, and the country will go before. Waiting at the thing in terms of the economy, when you feel say the government don't do right by the people and by the country, what they help the country for go before?
Well, I had struggle for actually pinpoint. Then go tell me about the single treasury account. But the single treasury account not actually, as good as the idea was, it's not actually the manifest itself for enable people for survive in the country. And this whole thing about this petty loan where the government for them promised during the election said that
sorry, man, so sorry. I think we'll get a caller on the line. I'll just say, hello, caller.
Yes, Aisha Moriba. I just want to give me contribution to the discussion based on the economic, the irrigation where they go through on presently now we country Sierra Leone. When the past government, when you talk about governance, we not actually get a proper good, government yet na salon. That's right, we did try. And the past governments, they do their own, and the present government, because the language where every Sierra Leonean don't use to now na salon, we inherit government. We inherit the government when we don't meet nothing. We as Sierra Leoneans, they talk as a woman from Sierra Leone, and not based presently. But we want a good leader who not ever continue for the complaint and cast blame on people them. From waiting you don't inherit, try to find a solution for making go progress the country instead of on a daily basis. It becomes a national anthem. It becomes a pledge that we inherited, a shattered government. What have you put in place to improve the system? I remember I left Sierra Leone sometime in 2018 from June. Within a period of 8 months, I returned back to the country. Tamakoko I used for buy 15,000. When I went back to Freetown, I bought Tamakoko for 35,000. It was like a big shock to me. It affected me seriously, and I became economically traumatized because on more than 100% inflation rate, a bag of rice that was sold for 250,000 leons now is going for almost 500,000 leons. So the inflation rate, it don't go up to more than up to.
Okay, I think so.
Auditors.
Okay, yes, it's study
Now,
back home.
government will sit down and think they put two together. The need for control, the prices them now the country, so that they go able minimize the inflation rates where they escalate now Sierra Leone. And you where they work, you know they feel the pinch. The majority where they present, they where they know they work in Sierra Leone, then they feel the pinch. Families and they suffer. You can no longer survive on 15,000 as stock money in the country. You go buy 1 cup pepper for 5,000. You go buy waiting 20,000 able to for feed the limited number of family. We get at least 6.
Okay. Okay, my sister. Thank you very much.
They come. If the government, because we see with presidents don't waka, plenty countries them. Iwaka defend investors them more. Smartly that will make it don't cost. Arrange enough for don't close some of their companies them. They don't close the way don't cost people them. They go unemployed. And my brother, give me last submission. The multinational company in the need for me to review because what is the after they came from their companies there, much they only get profits over the years, not the employment. Take the case of London mining, they do the extraction and they don't do separation as well, also cause another environmental application in the country. So there are a lot of things need for being active. I will not blame the present government against the issues they need them.
Okay, thank you very much, my sister. Very salient contribution. Welcome, thank you very much. And like where the sister also come up from, and so most of the points that when you highlight, he said the sister says I agree with you. I mean, in terms of like what they say, nobody no one let the government not succeed. All no one let the government succeed. All no one let the government do well. Because the government do well now, all as I don't know all the benefits to country go before. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Wait, like your name outside the call for please.
I come from New York. Commonly call me KG.
Yes, my brother KG. Welcome to the program. Any views and comments, please feel free for sharing with us.
Okay. What I already talk about today? You see civilian issues, right? We all talk, this the talk, and then the talk, this the talk. But we claim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Brahman, so the caller, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Now you're fine now, SuperMed. Yeah.
We get technocrats in Sierra Leone, we get Bukhlan in Sierra Leone. Now, one good question I want to ask the government, if they really know what's in the governance, then I have one question. Then the second question where I want to ask every Sierra Leonean will vote for this particular man when a president. Can you take a nursery begin for Lego teach from 5?
Okay.
That's no, right?
Yes, Mr. KG. Mr. KG, thank you very much for your comments and your questions. Yeah, thank you very much for your comments and your questions. The issue, the president, yes, hello?
Yeah.
Do now we refer to the president as His Excellency, now president, or world president. And I believe say, Lord give the respect whether office they deserve, don't just refer to him as we president, His Excellency President Maada Bio, please. Okay, carry on.
Okay, thank you. And we issue in Sierra Leone, I beat Sierra Leone during the election, right?
Yeah.
And I did a radio with this particular president with an prompt for turn the economy around within 6 months. They even promised say the least Sierra Leone were able to survive food cooking problem within 6 months. And then people players who come forward and they put this paper. Now the third year of the groupers. We go use this platform today to tell each and every everybody who would listen this conversation. It take according to the white people who would follow, it take 25 minutes for let the most stupidest person learn something. If you see able learn them, then there is a problem. Within 1 to 2 years, these guys cannot solve the problem of our people. Now blame.
Okay, I think we all lost the brother back. Okay, brother Manso, thank you very much. As we'll be carry on with the line and Bob small. I think say we don't manage for fix the line now. I think it gets me now much better and also.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
Much
the last question I be asked, I say we country during the previous administration, then we rate we one of the most peaceful country in Africa. Now, since over 2 years ago, where this administration don't take over governance, we don't get plenty issue. And even for that peace index, that peaceful index there, we don't go down. So what's not the main thing the way if we say this political instability don't cause further flare up in the country? What's not the main thing the way you look at?
I think, say, like I already said to you, this whole thing started from the installation of the Speaker of Parliament. And you went on to the fixed term with the bamboos in terms of the ACC. All these things, according to the constitutions, those were fixed term. You went on to the bank governor. That was another fixed term. And then you went into the removal of the 10 APC MPDM. That was another thing. And obviously, when you come to the COI, which is the Commission of Inquiry, yes, every Sierra Leonean welcomed and supported the COI. But the way the COI was conducted, one another flag points down that we bring tension in the country, the rule of evidence. So the luminaries then, everybody can interpret them. And the interpretation of the government by the COI in terms of the rule of evidence being creates another tension. And for me also, one of the most fundamental things we creates this tension, now the unkindness where these governments, they show towards the opposition. And you, the government, when you show this amount of unkindness to the opposition, then obviously it will create the massive tension where you're not able to control. And this is where we are in this predicament that we find ourselves. The government not behave like a daddy or the mommy, we for maintain and abort the peace and tranquility, and for look and learn from what the previous government did in terms of what ABK did. There was a lot of challenges, but it maintained the peace of the country and you not get no political prisoners. But when you come with an attitude of maybe hatredness, an attitude of wamat, an attitude of revenge, then you always stroke attention where it will backfire on you. And I believe, say, purposefully, the nature of unkindness when the government decided to perpetrate onto the opposition as a matter of revenge, now indicate this tension where the currently they face.
Okay, thank you very much, brother Manso. You don't put them up very precisely again. I mean, very good answer. And I feel say like oh, say no more, will get your own perspective of all man will get their own opinion and their own facts and their own truth in relation to the issue there. But one other issue as well, where people them also they flag up say another key issue where they bring an tension. Now this arrest business here where they see that they arrest people where they be members in the previous administration. As I talk so now, there are people who are in a prison, people in the way they don't bail today, where like the prominent journalist and doctor when Dr. Silva Lainka Blyden. We also see the wife. I
think the Nobel I think the bail was turned down because
the bail. The bail was turned down.
I think it will be on the 3rd of June. So I heard.
Okay, thank you very much for that correction, because I don't know when back. Then obviously we know say the people, the likes of Paulo Conte, the likes of about George Williams, the likes of Darami Equator, all of them people are right at the in detention. How you see that one day and the political instability? How then to tell the match it add up, now another increment, I mean, where they put pressure on this political instability, where they make peace no day, where they make boku people and grumble, people unhappy, and boku tension there between the political parties there.
You see, the hypocrisy, the sheer hypocrisy of Sierra Leone and them, now make we continue to grow. Right? We need to put away the hypocrisy. And there's a lot of talk when they say put Salon first. But a lot of Sierra Leoneans, we know they put the country as a whole first. Now, my simple analogy in terms of Sierra Leone being Usai Salon Day, so for the past years, we may not go, and this current instability, like I said to you earlier, when you as a government come in with an aim of revenge, and you just show this amount of unkindness, the word unkindness sits at the heart of this instability with the guns right now. And you cannot rule with fear. You can only rule with fear when you don't lost the confidence of the people, when you govern, and you decide for rule with fear. There's only one outcome. The people then go get fed up, and then go come out and then go stand up for the rights. And we don't see the human rights abuses and violations, the intimidation, the incarcerations, the lawlessness, and all of this stuff when the government they perpetrate. Just for simple thing where His Excellency the President failed to do by being silent. At the president actually come out from the very first time when this lawlessness starts and all of these inequalities and all of this brutality starts, it don't make a statement, a strong statement for denounce them, for condemn them to the strongest term, then I believe say this situation not for me continue like it continues so. But the silence of the president in itself, now he help for exacerbate this tension to Usai Idondeso. Look at what happened yesterday in Minnesota. We all see clearly what was done to the black brother in Minnesota. That was wrong. That was awful for take a man's life like that. But what happened after that incident there? When you watch the press conference of the mayor of Minnesota, how emotional distraught the gentleman was and how eloquently it condemned the action of the police. Clearly, whether in Minamu, in no Minamu, but waiting and they tell you, it show you leadership. And the effort come and allay the fear of any other person who go feel say, might be a victim or I might be a victim of this bias system. This is what leadership is about. So when this thing started, if the president actually come out and condemn all of this action with the strongest term, I believe say this situation never happened. And as far as I'm concerned, as a Sierra Leonean, anybody can say this is my own opinion, the buck stopped with the president. And I believe, again, if we watch and follow what happened as a case study to the Minnesota incident what happened, Donald Trump will be saying something in the next hour or maybe before the end of the day. It is paramount that the commander-in-chief give an opinion and condemn what happened that is bad, that has the tendency for inflame and cause civil unrest. But because we presidents, they fail for do those things, I don't see any end in sight.
Like again, Brother Manso, you really hit some crucial topic about this particular issue here. So, but again, I want to remind the viewers, them and the listeners, and say, Mina SuperMed are sitting for Mr. Prince Emile Kroma, when are the CEO and founder of this then and now media empire. And from Ulem, we look today into the economic and political perspective of this current administration of the His Excellency President, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio in governance, because I don't know a government over 2 years. As people they talk tonight, they approach 3 years, small. So you look at in then two perspectives, then very broad, but we'll just look at more and a little bit, because not going to elaborate for the all today because time not will permit we. But again, one to thank you because I'm patient with we don't get few technical difficulties where I feel say we don't manage for go through. And the brother also the Jewy clear points them, to the best of your ability, it explain to we in real detail, the political perspective of what's happening in our country. Because like I say again, one of the other key issue up to date, people when they talk about now the sackings. We don't see where them pull the anti-corruption commissioner, the former bank governor, all them sacking, all that different side them, where people they suspect say now very partisan sackings them. So, Mr. Manso, are you seeing anything there? Because many people they complain say they want a partisan sackings them and no fear on the people them because it don't mean say where the other administration don't come out, where the other new administration come if can't sack them for lost their job, and most of them people now they're not getting a job. So I see say that thing about the play in relation to the peace and security and political stability in the country.
You see, it is sad to a degree that is why this government is struggle like the way they struggle. So this government didn't need to struggle the way they struggle. So this government didn't need to do what they're actually doing right now in terms of the sacking. We see some of the audios them where they come out, where sat in offices, they do a roll call. The Kamaras, the Koromas, the Kagbos, the Banguras, and all of these people being sacked. We see them, they give them the P45 or the letter of termination. It is quite sickening. And when you look for make you succeed, you need for keep the core of any institution. No matter what happen, you might not be your tribesman, but one thing that we share in common is the common interest of that we're all Sierra Leoneans. When you come as an establishment, you decided for sack all of these key people where then get the knowledge, the expertise, the work now them area there for so long. And then you decided for bring new people in. Those new people would then have to bed in and settle down and understand the culture if they're not been in that particular business day or that particular trade day, for try to understand how the system work and for understand the various policies and how the institution and the worker then work, then you create a toxic atmosphere and you create a situation where the people where you sack, those people remember Salon get safety net again for 8 people that were lost their job. These people get family. You create an animosity where they go right through the line, even to that last speaking, where they see papa, they go work, now papa, they go work, sister, auntie, and so on and so forth. Then also in order to go work again because they sack them for no fault of their own, for doing nothing, absolutely nothing, just because in or come on a particular region, or because in or in a particular tribe, or because sound the way you feel say you want to for sound, you sack them. That in itself is bad. And that type of behavior there has to be condemned to the highest order. And
okay, thank you very much, Brother Manso. And again, I want to remind viewers and listeners and say, Brother Manso is a political activist. What they talk now, and your opinion and views as how he see things. This is not so the opinion and views of the then and now media empire. Now this now Brother Manso, your opinion and views, and your how you see things, because like what I'm a political activist as well. Brother Manso, another key thing happened recently. We began to see riots now. Well, two people go describe as a riot or protest na Lusag. We see something at Feredugu. We see something at Tumbo, where people describe as some sort of protest or riot because the fishermen say, well, then after the lockdown, and if I go fishing and say, so only certain people they go fishing. We see all anything and then the president will not be able to talk anything, but the president can and make one big speech where he referred to the opposition and say, now that they finance, support, and take part terrorism in the country. So in other words, that the opposition are terrorists. What now you take? Because beaucoup people have been tormented and confused. They say, well, you brand all the main opposition. We get half of the country in constituency as terrorists. That's not big thing. Because you get plenty ramification. And that one they help the political stability in the country. What now you take in relation to that?
SuperMed, I want to give me a little bit of time, make we discuss this issue. You see, for me, the issue na Tumbo and Lonsar, now one I can only describe as unfortunate situation. Now situation when no need for happen, and a situation that could have been best managed. But for some reason, as always, the lack of foresight and the lack of vision from the government now exacerbate this tension. Because you get the municipality where they run those areas, then where I believe the directive and instructions get for come from the head, whoever the head is. Now, for lock people in down, knowing how difficult the situation, as we discussed earlier, in terms of the economic situation, and these people in our country, they not get savings in any shape or form when they tap into it. These people then they live day by day and to month, right? With the little help from family, relatives there and there for making them sustain life. You lock them down for 3 days and they expect the rule of law. They follow the guidance of the government in hardship. Now, after the lockdown, and then these people believe, say, well, now where we go and go get we living, because this government not to give we what we want, they don't lock we down. Then you decided for say this X amount of boats, they need to go now water and this, that, and the other. So there's some amount of miscommunication that happen. And when the people then get vexed, I believe say the government for me be proactive for quickly send people in down there for stop this incident going out of control. But when you try for fight fire with fire, now only one outcome you get. And what thing they amaze me with the current situation in Sierra Leone right now is one of the office of the chief minister. This is a guy that actually study peace and conflict. And I go like for bring to the attention of every listener and every Sierra Leonean, if they can go on Amazon, and there's a book called Dandelion Insurrection. It get a yellow cover. This book was written by Professor David Francis. Sorry for giving him a free advert now you channel.
No, you more than welcome. Carry on, my brother.
But this book tell you say corruption and lie, the people will rise. This is Professor David Francis in his own words that tell you corruption and lie, the people will rise. And when you look at all of these things when they happen, from when this government take over governance, April 2018, everything is shrouded in corruption and lie. So when you, as the man, will write a book that advise that corruption and lie, the people will rise, and when the people rise, and then you want to use heavy-handed tactics for go beat them down, there's only one choice: the people will fight back, right? So the government, not they try to portray themselves as a unified government where they rule or where they lead for a unified Sierra Leone, one people, one country. The government want to use threat, intimidation, incarceration, and bully the people. No, they are the servants of the people. These people voted for the government. And until this government understand that they are not the boss, they are the servants of the people, then I believe say this tension not going to ever end. It not going to ever end. Then go back to the drawing board and sit down and look. They've got a year. They can salvage something between now and the 3rd year, because coming the 4th year, then there's nothing else they can do because we're entering into an electioneering already. So in saying what they cause the tension, the government actually, they contribute. I say that again, the government, they contribute into the tension where they create all of these problems now we country. And for the president in itself, why I say the statement was so unfortunate, look young people and call them terrorists, things say you to get any gain out of that, what they was actually malicious. The statement was a malicious statement saying I go malign the opposition, maybe I go get a tap on the back from the international community, because anything associated with terrorism, the international community go frown at them. So they coined this phrase, terrorists, with the hope that say they go get heads up from the international community. And the president and the advisors that fail to see the bigger picture and the ramification that any side that is being associated with terrorists, nobody know what nothing for do with that area there. Because the health, the safety alone is paramount. And that terrorism worldly, we see the Ministry of Terrorism, they already debunk for say Salon not get terrorism, but the president say we get terrorism. Who that investors then they listen to? Who that tourists then they listen to? Who that people of goodwill who go na Salon they listen to? Now obviously now the commander-in-chief and the president. So if you don't call your own people terrorists, which is unfortunate, I not see how this government is ready for turn the corner anytime soon. And the international community, I believe, say they themselves, they know exactly what the truth is, that this government only interest now for malign and blackmail the opposition. And if they're not stop for do that, the tension in Sierra Leone not going to stop anytime soon.
Okay, thank you very much for that long point you don't make. I want to say again, this time Mr. Manso, in your views and analysis of how you see the situation. Everybody gets your own views and analysis and how they see the situation. So do you allow we just learn for the agree to disagree, whatever? But this time, Mr. Manso, a political activist, and your own views in relation to the economic and political situation in the country since 2018 to now. Again, Mr. Manso, thank you very much. I believe we don't cover quite lots of points then. But I think say before we cannot finish, now we know say we get this big pandemic within the world where now this COVID-19 coronavirus, unfortunately, don't come our country. And I believe say a program like this, we need for talk about them a little bit. Let us sensitize with people, let people and believe say yes, coronavirus, COVID-19, not real thing, it keep plenty people, even big countries in the world, they don't suffer seriously. Even we say in the Western world, so 30 days per lockdown one way or the other. So do you have men pay it? Make themselves make sure so they follow the guidelines same way the Ministry of Health and the government, the people really in charge, don't put in place, like for the wash your hand, for make sure so they social distance and other things them for keep themselves well and safe. So I want you yourself the opportunity for yourself say something to the people in Salon or wherever we see Alliance and they in relation to this COVID-19 coronavirus and how they for take them serious and how they for follow the guidelines when they set out for all we follow for protect yourself.
Thank you, SuperMed. Me people I go let for actually make una understand say coronavirus COVID-19 is real. Nobody not deceive you for tell you say coronavirus is not real. Make nobody not tell you say coronavirus not affect black people. Make nobody not tell you say coronavirus in order in Africa because of the place warm. Coronavirus is an invincible enemy. We don't know any class, we don't know any age, we don't know color, where they take down anything. So make we be very careful for make anybody not try for tell we say coronavirus is not real. It is real and it is deadly. We all see the catastrophic way it don't cause now the Western world. We God bless them with everything in terms of medical and in terms of professionalism. We see the death in the UK is almost getting close to 40,000, and the death in the United States is almost coming to 100,000. 100,000 people. That is a serious loss of life. So una get for take them serious, una get for listen to the advice of the government and the WHO, and una follow the rules and regulation of washing una hands them, wearing una mask, and then also for maintain the social distancing. We know say it is very difficult, but una get for try una level best for make sure say una adhere to some of these things. They see the pressure the country face in terms of the wash hand business because of the water situation But me people, your health is wealth. Una get to do everything that una can for make sure say una follow. And when you go certain areas, them you the climb stairs, make sure say try for waka if you're not able body without all the railings them, because these are areas that we there's a possibility you can contract the COVID-19. When you open doors, try for carry a tissue, or if you close long or you get a short or vest way long, use that thing there for cover the door and hold on. And make sure say you know to play with your face, you know to play with your mouth or your nose, with your hand, and try for avoid that as best as you can. And if you want to do anything with your face, please use your clothes like this, fold them and do something at your face, or maybe get a tissue, try for waka with tissue or handkerchief in order for make you not be able for hold your hand, your face with your dirty hand. And when you get home, the first thing that you need to do is to wash your hands and make sure say your hands is clean. And some of you were able to afford your hand sanitizers. Make sure you carry them with you. And if you're in an area where you can afford for share with your company citizen them, please do. Like they say, every little help. But it is serious, it is deadly. Let we help ourselves, let we help the government, let we follow the rules and regulations that has been set by the government, and hopefully this disease will pass and we will try forget we life them back and we will move back to normality.
Thank you very much, Brother Manso. And then a very, very solid advice to we all, viewers, listeners, them, Sierra Leoneans, them, wherever they, and what I want to add paranormal as well. Even though the people they say it didn't affect Black people, we know the statistics don't come on here. Now ONS, now the Office of National Statistics, say we Black people then are more likely for die by this sick past all the other group. And we don't see the same back in America. Like what you say in America is in fact over 100,000 people that don't die. Yeah, like what you say they are closing to 40,000. And according to the Johns Hopkins University, nearly 360,000 people worldwide don't die by this sick year. And then country around a country will get Babala health system. We get all kind of instruments, ventilators, everything in the health system. But yet still you see thousands and thousands of them don't die. 2 years with people in a salon. We allow to take this serious. We allow to follow the good sermon and tell we about. For make sure say we not like two bunch one place. This thing it scatter more people they cough, people they sneeze, every one person they talk, because person they talk small saliva can come on like much. If they near you all lengthy and they no good. So we allow separate ourselves. And now we know say people that don't get sick, they don't get no symptoms. Then they sick not at all, but they still spread the sick. And if they begin spread into a vulnerable population, them with old people, them and people who get underlying medical condition, they say I go take all in the community, I go and we can't get bad one. Do ya we not follow the advice of the give we not make sure say we social distance with the worst we and them, and we do other things them where they help you for protect you from this sick year. Again, I want to tell all thank you viewers and listeners and all over the world who don't join me today. People don't contribute to the show. This now we first outing. We will get few technical problems. So we want to say we're sorry and we will tell you thank you on a patience with we. Basically, plenty things will be ironed out by next time. And again, we want to say thank you very much to the CEO and founder of this platform, when I'm Mr. Prince Emil Koma, owner the CEO and founder of the Then and Now Media Empire. Today, me sit down for be the moderator for this particular program. I want to tell my guest, the owner, Mr. Hassan Manso. Thank you, plenty. It don't come, it don't highlight many points, your own views and opinions in relation to the political and economic situation in the country. So again, I return all thank you, and my guest thank you, and Mr. Komatek and everybody, do you Sierra Leoneans who say they will learn for agree to disagree peacefully, because we honor brothers and sisters who they continue for pray for the government, they go guide them, many go change course, many go do the things we go push the country go before. And we believe that the government get their own opinion them, and we say call this platform you open. Any one of them who want espouse your opinion and I see things, then welcome and just contact we go able open get any facility, many say can put in case of course. Again, viewers and listeners, thank you very much. This is at the end of the program, Mr. Manso. Thank you very much. I don't know if I want to say thanks to the viewers and listeners as we can end the program now.
Thank you, Mr. SuperMed. I'd like to say thank you to the CEO and founder, Mr. Prince. And I would like to say thank you to the listeners as well. And I hope say, we don't share ideas, we don't share information and we don't engage each other. And I believe, say, we dey try for criticize the government constructively, because this is not the only way the government can understand what they do wrong, and maybe they can see, say, yes, we've done wrong here, there, and everywhere, and then they can able for change course. Because obviously, we all know, say, Sierra Leone, now one Sierra Leone now we get, not to two. And for some of us, where they enjoy the benefits of the diaspora, this not to forever. You understand? Home, na home. And as we all say, the land that we love, Sierra Leone, Mama Salone, now the land where we all want for return back to. And it will be best for let we all see reason for come together, agree to disagree, that we build Sierra Leone. And the issue about COVID-19, the coronavirus, make people not politicize them, not a political disease. COVID-19 is real. So Sierra Leoneans, let we try to love one another, make we stop the hypocrisy, and make we put Sierra Leone first. Sierra Leone is bigger than any political party. The APC, the SLPP, the NGC, the C4C, etc., etc. So I want to tell everybody, thank you for taking the time for listening to we and for watch this program. And I hope so I will continue for support the Then and Now platform, and we will come back to Ona in the near future. Thank you all, and God bless Salone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manso, and thanks to everybody. This is a nice roundup, and again, we will see you another time. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, SuperMed.
Thank you.